Hi, I'm Chris Cocalis with Pivot Cycles, and this is Rachel Wehn and Ryan Molony. We're here today to talk about the new E-Vault. So we started this development project several years ago. Actually, when Pivot first launched its new shuttle for the first time in 2017, there was a small e-bike drive unit battery manufacturer also starting in Germany at the same time called Fazua. And we struck up a conversation, and they supplied us a couple of motors, batteries, and their bottom bracket assemblies. And we started working on a design, a couple designs actually, of what would be the best fit for this type of system. And after a lot of prototypes, a lot of working with the system, and a lot of development with them over the years, it's finally time to launch the new bike. So both of you guys had a hand in riding and development and even tuning of how we wanted the power to come on. And yeah, Rachel, tell us about your first ride on the bike. And
yeah, so I didn't really know what to expect. I've ridden the shuttle, but it's a completely different experience, but the same like excitement that you get on the shuttle. My favorite part of the ride experience was being able to put out a good amount of effort for longer than I could have on my regular road bike. And it just makes you feel, I told you, it made me feel like Superwoman, so.
And it's nice because you used to be a pro cyclist, and
yeah, I'm not there anymore by any means.
But
no.
You can still go, and Ryan, you're kind of still like a pro cyclist. You're kind of the food weighing. We joke about your habits and your bike setup for that matter.
Yes.
Yeah. So when we gave you the bike to test, honestly, what I was looking for from you was to really just lay miles down and put some durability testing on the system, and handling and frame flex and all the things we need to do to tune the carbon layup and the ride of the bike. And I didn't actually expect you to like the thing. So
well, I did.
You did. So tell me about it.
Well, I think for me it was a very interesting experience for me because I was part of the testing phase for the Vault, the gravel bike, and for me I didn't really know what to expect at first. And I remember like the first ride I got on it, I was like, okay, I'll kind of see how this goes, and I'd get it into the first setting, and I was like, and I immediately came to mind, I'm like, oh, this is a lot of fun. Like I just basically put a ear to ear smile on my face just with just the enjoyment that you had with it. I mean, like Rachel was discussing, you can basically be putting out a normal effort where you'd be going 16 to 18 miles an hour, and on this you're doing the same effort and you're going 23, 24. So it just becomes like this very enjoyable, like riding at race pace in certain group rides, and not having to be putting out the watts that I would normally have to be putting out to ride race pace. So for me, I just had a blast riding the bike. For the period of time I had it, I was actually a little upset when I had to give it back and not ride it as much anymore. But yeah, for me, just the ride experience was amazing. It kind of just, make you feel like you're a kid again when you've got on the bike, for that first time in quite a while. You just have a big smile on your face, and you get to ride a really sweet bike in the process.
Nice. So one of the things is when we were working on this and we got through the development of the extra large frame, we started working on the other sizes, and I had to ask Ryan to bring his bike back in.
Yeah.
Trying to get that thing back from him was a little tough.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah, maybe tomorrow.
No, I got some more testing I need to do.
Yeah, he was a little upset because we didn't have a lot of batteries and motors laying around, and so we had to build it up so that we could test the small and the extra small and get that done and then hand it off to you. And then you rode it, and actually we were still in the phase of figuring out the power output on it.
Yeah.
And one of the things on the bike with the software that's downloadable to the computer is you can tune the power output on it. And based on your experience, you found there's off, you can ride it without any assist, and then we have Breeze, which is green, River, blue, and Rocket. And so you were in the river setting a lot?
River setting a lot, just to kind of understand the tempo, like going uphill versus flats. And yeah, I just really, when I changed the settings, I wanted a little bit more consistency when going hard and then going a little harder.
Yep.
And it was incredible that we could just make those changes like that.
Yeah, so you came back with some good feedback, and then we adjusted the output, and then I wrote it, others wrote it, and we're like, wow, that was a great change, and then that's now the stock setting for us. So yeah, but that tunability is great. There's an app that anybody who gets the bike, or if you just want to download the app, you can do that on either Apple or Android.
I just need one more app on my phone.
Just so you can mess with your friends who have the same bike. But yeah, the app gives you a lot of data information on the bike, and then the computer software allows you to adjust that power and really manage a lot of the tuning options on the bike. In the near future, those will actually combine onto the app, so without ever having to hook it to the computer, people will be able to basically adjust to those power settings, save their power settings, send those setups to their friends to test if they find something they like better. The entire system itself has got some really unique things about it. First of all, it's the lightest. It's called the Fazua Ovation 2.0 Drive Pack System. And some pretty cool things about it is the motor can actually completely come out of the frame. When you go to charge the battery, the two pieces come out together. You can ride the bike without the motor. There's actually a cover they sell to if you just want to ride your bike as a regular bike after riding it with the battery. I don't know who would want to do that, but if you want to just carry sandwiches instead, that cover, there's a lot of room
Snacks,
in there.
burritos probably fit better in there.
Yeah, we haven't tested it yet, but we estimate you could fit 1 foot long, 1 6-inch in there maybe, depending. But you could probably get 2 full foot longs in there.
Extra large, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
the extra large. That's another perk of being 6'5".
But you don't eat that much, so you don't. Anyway, maybe I should ride the extra large. So the battery comes out of the drive pack unit. The battery weighs 3 pounds, super lightweight. That's about the same weight as a full water bottle. And when you're riding the bike, if you're using a combination of the different modes on the bike, and not just rocketing it all the time like you two, then you can get about 50 miles, a solid ride with 3,000 to 4,000 feet of climbing in the ride. And so getting a second battery, we'll have the battery available through our dealers with an EVOC pack that it's a nice bike packing pack that straps to the bottom underside of the top tube, and so it'll allow you to still carry your water bottles and the extra battery for those 100 milers. But another nice thing about the bike is even if you don't want to carry a second battery and you want to do a 100 miler, the system is drag free. So when it's not engaged, there's zero drag on it, and that is quite a bit different than pretty much any other drive system on the market. And that really allows you to comfortably put your power down. In fact, I got to tell the story about we didn't tell you how to turn the bike on when you first got it, and you did a full pull and to work, and you were probably about halfway here before you wondered if this e-bike thing was really for you.
Yeah, I was in the early stages of testing it, and there was a step you needed to do before you change the mode, and I'd go out riding and I'm like hitting it during the ride and nothing would come on, and then I'm like, I feel like I'm working a lot harder than I should. like on this bike ride right now. And then when I came in, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, you have to do this before the e-bike or the drive unit turns on. I'm like, oh.
And that was the nature of the prototypes. Now you just press the button on the top tube and your bike turns on. But
that's actually something I really like, is like the position of where the on and off and the mode switch is. It's super easy to like just quickly take your hand off the handlebar, and like the colors of the lights are really helpful to differentiate what mode you're in.
yeah, and it's a very touch sensitive control. So if you have gloves on, you can change modes really easy without like taking your hand off the bar and
like really
pressing something hard. It doesn't click or anything. In fact, in the software program, you can actually change the sensitivity of it. You can change it so much that
You barely.
well, if you sweat on it, it will change the mode, which we were experimenting with that. They also have a thing, if this would be more of a problem in Germany than in Phoenix or in Portland, rain mode. So if you're in a heavy rainstorm and rain's pelting this thing and actually changing your mode, you can hold down the button and change it to a mode where you have to press the little Fazua symbol to change the modes and click it through its modes, and then you can hold it down again for 2 seconds and take it back. But yeah, that was an interesting one because we were playing around with just how sensitive you could get, and it was almost like you could almost will it to change for you. But unfortunately, if you put it that sensitive when you're on really steep climbs and you sweat on the wrong side of the button, it's turning off. So rest assured, when you guys get your bike, it will be at a nice setting that allows with gloves to easily be able to change it. And then if you want to try different things in the future, you'll be able to change that with your app, or you can change it with the computer program. And also, the compatibility is one of the big features of the bike. So the data for the Fazua unit, the power meter readings, cadence, all of those things can feed through your Garmin, your Wahoo, some of the Garmin wearables, Lezyne, and Sigma. So really the biggest suppliers of data and bike computers in the marketplace. The bike has Di2, GRX Di2 group on it, and so if you add the Di2 wireless connector, which is just a small, inexpensive piece, then you can feed all the Di2 data into your Garmin, Wahoo, etc. as well, and it's a lot of data. I mean, you train with all the information.
You're a numbers guy.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's really impressive about it is, as an overall unit, it's a very user-friendly system. So you can very easily connect to majority of the Bluetooth computers of your choice. You can actually get power data from it. You can hook the Di2 up to it and get a lot of information. So you can get a lot of data out of the system if that's what you're looking for. So it's just a really nice user-friendly experience. It's not an overly difficult thing to get set up and to use. So I was really impressed with that.
So yeah, I've been using the 1030 here, and yeah, it's amazing scrolling through it and being able to just everything that you can do with it. And that's also, I think, kind of unique to the system. The other thing too is it's the drive unit's kind of really unique in the world of e-bikes and drive units. I think I mentioned already, it's the lightest system. It also falls in a really nice place as far as power output. So it's a 55 newton meters of torque, and it's class 1. All class 1s are classified as a 250 watt motor, but things like the EP8 we use on our shuttle, that's a 250 watt motor that has a much higher max output. This will go max 300. It's basically putting out 100 to 300 watts. The motor's very lightweight. the entire system doesn't add much weight to the bike. So you have a sub 30-pound complete bike with the feel of our vault, and it's just really snappy, really nice. And then some of the other things on the bike, when we developed the vault, one of the big things with that was to basically have a bike with Pro Tour level power transfer, and when you get on the pedals for it to go, and of course when you add power to your pedals, that becomes even more important. But we also don't want to lose comfort on the bike. There reaches a point where if you start to put too much flex into the seat stays or chain stays to get vertical compliance out of the bike, then other things start to suffer, and you get front derailleur rub and the bike twisting up and not able to sprint. And Molony here puts down a lot of power, and so we got the full stamp of approval. You put down a lot of power too. Yeah, so same thing we've done with the Vault and all of our bikes on the ride tuning is to make sure that that balance is struck. But to be able to keep that and also keep a comfortable level bike, when we launched the Vault, we came out with ISOFlex. And that is a system that basically holds the seat post isolated from the frame completely. And so when you're going over bumps, they don't make it to your saddle. And you've spent a lot of miles on the gravel. You've spent a lot of miles as well. What do you guys think about ISOFlex?
Well, I'm actually a really big fan of it. I kind of the same thing, didn't really know what to expect, the first time I got on it. And, there's a lot of, companies that claim to do a lot of certain things by isolating, road vibration and that sort of thing. And one of the things I was most impressed about is it just smooths out the ride so much, but it's not something that you really notice until you kind of start, thinking about it a little bit more and, kind of realizing the type of terrain you're on. It, just takes that little bit of edge off, rougher tarmac, rougher gravel roads. The other nice thing that's nice about it is when you do put the power down on rougher terrain, a lot of times, if you're hitting rougher terrain, you can kind of get bucked off the saddle and you're moving around a little bit more. With this, that ISOFlex basically isolates any of that road vibration and allows you to kind of keep that power transfer smooth and through the pedal stroke rather than losing it while you're getting moved off the saddle. So it's just another, added, complement to an overall really well-designed bike. So it just makes it ride, even that much better. So for me, I'm a firm believer in just the overall, quality of the ISOFlex and how it adds to, the ride characteristics and the ride quality of the bike.
Yeah, no, my statement would be on the eVault, I didn't ride the saddle. Chris knows I'm extremely picky about what saddles I ride on what bikes. And I just rode the saddle that was on the bike. And I could feel the ISOFlex taking some of the pressures out of the areas you don't want pressure on a saddle I usually wouldn't ride, and it made it rideable. And what you said about actually taking some of the vibration from the road out of what you feel from the saddle, that was the first time I really it all clicked in my head, was when I rode a saddle I usually don't ride.
Awesome. And with that, on the spec side, we combine it with a carbon seat post. It's our tuned flex carbon design. So the layup inside the seat post is different from side to side, front to back, so that adds an additional level of comfort to the bike. Really everything on the bike it's designed to be a nice high-end build as you would expect from Pivot, and everything work well together. So it's GRX Di2, Reynolds carbon wheels, compact drivetrain with a Praxis carbon crank, and then an Easton carbon bar. So really just top of the line, excellent working stuff. Di2 all works great together. And then of course, like any good road bike, gravel bike, fits 2 water bottles on every size frame. So that's another nice thing about the system, is that it is so sleek, really kind of just disappears into the bike, and you can be in a group road ride, and it's essentially completely silent.
Yeah, I felt bad passing some people, to be honest. I was like, they have no clue I'm on an e-bike
Yeah.
right now. And I just let it go. I was like, yeah, I'm feeling good today. Have a great day, guys.
Yeah, I was battling some people on occasion up to the towers that I had no business going up against, and it wasn't until we got to the top and they've turned themselves completely inside out, and me too a little bit to at least make it a fair fight. I was staying in the breeze, and then they'd start looking over the bike, and it would take them a minute or two.
Yeah.
What is that? Wait a second. Yeah. Does that have something else going on? And yeah, it's got something else going on.
A little something.
So yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is just like both you guys said, it's a ton of fun, and really whatever you want to do with it. It's kind of the ultimate all-surface bike. With our regular vault, our general spec is more towards the gravel end, where we've got wider gravel-specific tire, flared handlebars. This one uses a compact standard drop bar, 32C Maxxis Refuse tires, which can take an amazing amount of beating in gravel and off-road. We've taken them on full-on mountain bike trails, but they're great on your daily commute all around the city, wherever you want to ride the bike on a group road ride, and it's really a bike for whatever you want that bike to be.
Yeah. Like for me, I feel like it's that like, I've got an hour while Adelaide sleep in. I'm gonna go as far as I can in that hour, and that helps it be a lot more fun.
Yeah. Well, I think that's also one of the really fun parts about it is, I think there's this conception that you get on an e-bike and it's just everything's super easy and I don't have to work at all. Oh, no. And that's not the case. Like this bike, first and foremost, rides, like a Pivot does, and it's a quality bike to ride and it's a lot of fun. But I can still go out and turn myself inside out and get a good workout in. It's just then I have a little bit left in the tank when I come back and have to work the rest of the day. So it's just a tremendous amount of fun to ride the bike, and it's just an overall, it's a great experience, and that's what I really appreciate about it.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, for the average to even fit rider that puts in a lot of miles, to go out and get a 50-mile ride in I don't know, just a couple hours, 2.5 hours, and then come home and go about your day. And even though your heart rate was up the whole time, you were working hard, and you felt like you got a really good ride in, like your legs are still sore the next day, you can still, it's the difference from going on with your day and having a productive rest of the day with your family or whatever you want to do, instead of like the nap, crash on the couch, maybe have 2 days to recover from that one. You can do multiple days and just keep on going. It's just super fun everywhere. So and then the last thing too with the versatility is it has the same tire clearance as the Vault. So you can run fatties on there. You can run big gravel tires. They're wide rims on there, so changing out tires is pretty, just as easy as changing out any tires. It is just like the Vault, it is 650 compatible, so if you want to run smaller, even wider 2.0 tires on the bike, you can do that as well. And
what about mullet?
Yeah, you can mullet it. Yeah, we were joking around, just like the Vault, the Fox gravel road suspension fork will fit on there, so you can put your big old fatty 29er on the front, drop your 650 on the back, and you're ready to roll. They just need to make get some of those big, wide, 3-lane wide handlebars and go for it. But yeah, you can make it whatever you want. But I think for most people, the stock setup, maybe with some slightly wider tires if they tend towards just mostly riding off-road. But if you're mixing it up with the bike, the gearing, everything about it is just will cover a wide range of riders, and it's just fantastic everywhere. And then we should also mention the colors.
Yeah, I was actually just about to ask you, what color are you going to get, or have you already decided?
Well, sometimes when a bike is hot, I wind up riding the unpainted prototype that I've had for 3 years. I got a few of those in my garage these days, but and then I never actually get to the color that I want to ride. But it's a hard pick. The glacial green metallic with the skin wall tires is really hot looking, but then the full stealth with the black sidewalls. Yeah, it's really a split decision for me, and I know it's going to be good when you can't decide. But yeah, there's a lot of black bikes out there, so I think the glacial green metallic's pretty unique.
Molony, you too?
Yeah, like Chris says, I've ridden a lot of black bikes before, so I'd like to put a little color in it. So if it becomes available in an extra large, I will. That's what I will.
That's
what I
going to
will
be my
riding.
road as well.
Yeah.
Like small, which ones? What can we do here?
But black is slimming, and if you really want to hide that drive pack,
I think I enjoyed the black being pretty stealth on,
Yeah.
on my rides. It was
no one
pretty
sees
funny.
that one coming.
Yeah.
No, there's no battery.
Yeah. So either way, the E-Vault's awesome, and a lot of incredible features. And thank you guys for helping develop the bike. And
See it come to life.
that's everything about the E-Vault.
You gotta tell them to, once we launch the bike, to go into your local pivot dealer and go buy one.
Go into your local pivot dealer and go buy one. The sales guy.
Just saying.
Thanks, everybody.